Hello, everyone, and welcome back to seeing just how unprepared for war Fire Emblem armies really are. This time, we're going to tackle Genealogy of the Holy War, and I'm going to need to use this a lot because I don't know a damn fucking thing about substitutes. But that doesn't matter. What I do know is Gen 1, and let's just jump right into it. Sigurd and all of his knights get a point. They've all been trained, and I think it's safe to assume they've all seen combat before with something. Like, they're Knights of the Kingdom, it can be assumed they fought brigands before, they're professionals. I don't believe it's ever outright stated the four of them have fought before, but I think it's heavily, you can very easily assume this isn't their first tango. So I'm giving all of them a point. It could be argued they should all get a half a point, but I think it's safe to say they've seen combat. Now, Azel. He's trained in magic, but I don't believe he's actually gone out in combat before. So we give him the esteemed honor we give all nerds with the book, half a point. Lex. Lex is tricky. He's been trained to fight, and I think you can assume, like Sigurd, he's seen combat before, but it's never outright stated either. But I think it's probably safe to give Lex a point. But again, that's kind of going off of inferences and just sort of assuming what I think. Let's see, does the wiki help me? Come on, wiki, can you do anything for me? Youngest son, Pavis's near blood, childhood friend. He just wants to help his friend. He loves to fight. Okay, I think I think it's safe to say Lex has seen combat and is somewhat of a professional. So I don't think this is his first tango. But that could be argued. You could have me on Lex. Quan has received knight training alongside Sigurd. I think it's safe to say he's seen his fair share of bandits and or Thracian mercenaries, which, depending your interpretation, is also bandits. So Quan gets a point. Ethelyn gets half a point. She knows how to use a staff and a sword, but I don't think she's ever actually seen combat until now. She just rides in to help Sigurd and Quan. So, she is not a nerd with a book, but a pretty lady with a stick. The two major groups of half points. Finn. I believe it's expressly stated he's a rookie knight, isn't it? Yeah, like blob profile first. I think he's stated to be a rookie knight. But I don't. I think he's only half a point. No, 1 point. If Quan picked him to go help his best friend, I think Finn's seen some combat. Or maybe he's like Oife and he's just around to learn. That's another one that's a little tricky. I could see Finn also being debatable. Medale is a very shitty guardsman, but he is a guardsman. So proper knight training, in the most technical sense of the term, he has combat experience before you recruit him, if you can call getting thwacked with an axe combat experience. So Medale gets a point. I think it's safe to say he is a professional. Do! He's a thief. Now one of the things people have brought up is how I should handle thieves, because Do probably does have experience thieving, but I'm gonna go out on a limb and say it might be self-taught. He doesn't have any training in thieving. He just steals. Hell, the first time you see him, he got caught. So, I'm gonna give him half a point. I don't think it's safe to say that he's the most well-trained soldier. Pretty lady with a stick. That's about it there. Ira, trained swordswoman, fought before, Very easy pick here. Not too much needed to be explained. Ira knows what she's doing. Deidre, pretty lady with a stick, but this one is also a nerd with a book. We are combining two groups into one. Unfortunately, no experience. That's a half a point for Deidre. I think I'm using the wrong translation name, but fuck it, English isn't real. Jomke, Prince Jam, 100%. If he's able to lead an army, I think it's safe to say this isn't his first time. Bow training, he's worth a point. He is no slouch. What he shoots at, he shoots until it dies. Holm. Yeah, same thing. Gladiator pit fighter, minor holy sword blood, so like he's been assumed he's been trained like most Isaacin nobles. Is he even a noble? Is the blood that distant? I don't know, he's met Ira before, so I think it's safe to say he's seen his fair share of battles and is fairly competent. Latchis, half a point. She's not quite a pretty lady with a stick. She does, like, hold her ground in her debut chapter, but I'm pretty sure that's her first time fighting, and she's only doing so because some creepy horseman wants her coochie. So, I don't count as defending your coochie against early game FE villains that just want poontang as combat experience. So, Beowulf, trained mercenary for some time, as he and his mercenary captain were very close friends, so it's safe to say they've seen quite a few battles together. Beowulf gets it, I'd say. Lewin, nerd with a book. Maybe as a prince he fought. I don't think so. I think he's just kind of been lazing about place to place and not really involved in anything. So, nerd with a book, half a point. Title you. That's not... What the fuck am I saying? That's Sylvia. Wow. Why did I... What the fuck is wrong with me? Anyways... shaking your butt cheeks doesn't count as combat experience. You're a dancer. I'm not going to budge on this. Every dancer in the series is getting 0 points. I don't care what you say. Train Pegasus Knight. Not really much to say there. I think it's quite clear why she gets a point. So, Captain Fury or Aranis or whatever the fuck her name is. Good on you. You are trained. See, I'm a little confused as where to put her. Because on the one hand, it sounds like she's a nerd with a book, so she should get half a point. But if she's trusted to bodyguard Claude, is he the first time she's bodyguarded someone? Is this something she does? Like, she wouldn't be sent to protect Claude if she didn't have some sort of potential. So I'm actually going to put her above other nerds with a book because it's clear someone in power trusts her to do something. I could see that being argued. You could make a fair argument against that, but I'm going to give her a point. Speaking of, if Claude could protect himself, he would not need a bodyguard. He is not a pretty lady with a stick. He's a pretty man with a stick. Though he still has the trademark flowing, beautiful blonde hair. He is a high priest, so he technically can defend himself. He just doesn't have a tome when he joins, which I always thought was weird. But half a point. I think the fact that he doesn't have a tome kind of speaks more to the fact that he doesn't have experience. And I think Brigid is a point. Granted, she's probably done pirate raids against other pirates, but that's combat experience. So, gruff pirate lady, you're a full point. Sigurd's army, very capable, very qualified. Now let's go to Seliph's and see how many we gotta put in a half point. Now, I actually do know this much about the early game substitutes. They're all a half a point. They've trained with Oife, but have never actually seen combat. So they're all half a point. I don't even know all of their names. It's Rana or Lana. I don't know your name. Larcey, Rodney, Ulster. The fuck are your names? Oh, Cradine? Oh, you're Rodney. Dalvin? Well, we'll just pretend like that didn't happen. Oife! He actually gets a point. Nightly training, he's been leading the resistance alongside Shannon. He's actually been fighting. He's been the only one of Seliph's army that's been fighting. Well, him and Shannon. So, good on him. And same thing with Delmond and Lester's replacements. Half a point. They've gotten basic combat training from Oife, but they haven't actually fought, quote unquote. Actually, however, let me just to be safe, because I know Tristan is the son of Eva, who was a trained knight. Or Eve, sorry. Both taken into Sigurd's army. Taken in by Sigurd's army. Alright. So... yeah, I don't think... If it said... I don't know, yeah, I think he was just a kid, so I don't think he actually fought in Sigurd's army. Yeah, no, he was a kid then. So... he's had training, but... not quite enough to say he's had combat experience. Joining Lewin and being both pretty with a Claude, excuse me, and being both pretty with a stick and nerd with a book. Unfortunately, no experience. She was just taken off the street by Lewin. Fee and Fee 2 are both Pegasus Knights, I think. Again, is this their first rodeo? Blah, 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 Fee. Younger sister of Ced, canonically daughter of Lewin. Okay, no, it sounds like she's just a Pegasus Knight. Alright. Well, yeah, I think they're both Pegasus Knights. So I think they've had proper training, experience. I think they're good. Arthur, nerd with a book, going in half a point. Ahmed, nerd with a book, going in half a point. I think it's pretty safe to say we've got it, alright? The nerd with the book joke can only go on so long, alright? They're just nerds. All of them. I say, also a nerd. Johann and Johalavir. Both a point. They have the Holy Axe blood, so it's probably safe to say they've received training in the ways of the axe, and they both lead their own armies, which I don't think which I don't think it's the first time they've done. So, I think it's safe to assume as princes they've received training and experience. So, Shannon. It's not talked about enough how he and Oife were basically soloing the entire empire as they waited for Seliph to become a man. That's not appreciated and talked about enough in this community. Sometimes a family can be two bros and a young blue-haired prince. Love them both. Daisy. She's a thief. She's been thieving. Not really seen any combat. And I'm going to put her substitute there as well. Laylee? No, that's the substitute dancer. I don't know who you are. So, Leaf! Timeline, baby! Fire Emblem Thracia 776 takes place... starts before Gen 2 and ends, I believe, sometime in Chapter 8. So Leaf has seen combat experience before, and I believe he's been trained by Avail and Finn. So, Leaf gets it. Nana, not a pretty lady with a stick. She's same deal. She's fought in Thracia, so she's seen some battles. So I do not think it's a stretch to put them there. Granted, Thracia isn't finished by the time they're recruited in FE4, but enough of it has happened that I can safely say they've seen combat. Leaf has lived through the Manster escape arc. Anyone who lives through that is a goddamn mastermind. Why the fuck is Aron here? Just notice that. Nana's substitute, meanwhile, I think doesn't count for this. Because due to her not being all that existent in canon, I don't think Jean or... Yeah. She will gain father's death, taken in, murdered by a soldier, adopted. Yeah, I don't think Jean doesn't have the powers of the sequel game or midquel game that Nana has, so you're only half a point. Sorry, miss. They really liked using very similar designs and for some of the substitutes. Finn! If there was any doubt he didn't deserve a point in Gen 1, I don't think there's any doubt he deserves one in Gen 2. Like, by the time he's recruited in Gen 2, he's lived through 2 halves of 2 different games. He has a whole game of experience by the time you recruit him. So, good on you. One of the best dads in all of Fire Emblem, and it's not even your kid. Ares, I think, is also safe to put up there. Like, I'm pretty sure he's been a mercenary for a while. So, there it is, being a mercenary. He's one ball of anger, but he's a justifiable ball of anger. Dancing does not count as combat experience. Tinny. I don't know. Nerd with a book, yes. But she was sent out to fight by Bloom, and is that the first time he sent her out to fight? Bad, treated like prisoners. Bloom, close to Ishtar. Yeah, I think it's safe to say... I don't know. Do I give her the benefit of a doubt like her mother? I think if I give Title U the benefit of the doubt, I can give Tinny the benefit of the doubt and say she might have fought before, and her replacement. Because if she's being sent out with an army, like, it's tough. I could see you arguing all 3 of those to just get a half point. But I think it's safe to say these nerds with the book have seen combat experience before. Fabale and his replacement. Wasn't Fabale's replacement known, Acelia? Wasn't he known for protecting the innocent? He is known as the Hitman from Connaught. I think it's safe to say if he has a reputation fighting in the arena and a hitman, yeah, Acelio is a point. I think Fabale is as well. I think Fabale has been known to defend people as well. What do you got for us, Wiki? He works as a mercenary for Bloom. Alright. Yeah, worked as a mercenary. Yeah, Fabale and Acelio, both a point. I think they both deserve a point. I think it's fair to them that they get one. Sed and Hawk. Sed is so powerful, his substitute is actually also good. Like, Hawk's pretty fucking... Like, you could put Hawk in a normal Gen 2 army and he still wouldn't be terrible. I mean, he wouldn't be great, but... I think they've both seen combat experience. They're trained sages. Sed has Thracia to back him up, that he's definitely fought before. And Hawk as well has, I believe, in canon fought before. So, Hannibal! You don't get a name like the Wall of Thracia for standing around on your ass. Hannibal's actually like my favorite Gen 2 character. I love him. Look at that fucking beard. Beautiful. Top tier man. Top tier knight. Love him. Pretty boys with sticks. Don't think about that too hard. Stop. they're healers, no combat experience. I guess technically Corporal was in combat in Thracia as he was being rescued, but not quite the same. Altena, I think it's safe to say she was definitely trained by Travant and has also fought, literally she's fought in battle before you can possibly recruit her. So, I think it's safe to say she's seen combat experience before. Aron, why the fuck are you here? You're not, why are you part of this list? Alright. So, let's count out how many potentially playable characters there even are in Genealogy of the Holy War. 33, 27, that's 50, 53. That's a sizable roster. So, out of 53, we have 33 points, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 43. Why am I counting them individually if I know each row is 10? 43, 46 and a half. All right. Calculator. 46.5 divided by 53. 88% professional. Like, I'm realizing more and more with this series that the concept of picking up bums off the street is a lot less applicable than I and people thought. Like, a lot of these people, bare minimum, have had training. Like, so they aren't unprofessional as much as they are rookies. Like, we'll see how it progresses. Thracia is going to be one of the big ones. But so far, I've been pleasantly surprised. Thank y'all so much for watching. Feel free to debate if you agree with my placements or if you don't. I am becoming pleasantly surprised by how much these armies are actually like armies. So, we'll see if Thracia keeps this up. I haven't finished Thracia, so we're going to need the wiki a lot for that one, but we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes.